Ladies and gentlemen, it's not every day that an icon who has not defined an era but has defined eras of Bollywood or eras of any cultural property of this country joins us. And welcome to NDTV series India through the eyes of its icons. Welcome, Mr. Javed Akhtar.
Thank you very much, sir.
Javed Saab, legends are made through circumstances, or legends are made through a lot of efforts. How do I define you? I mean, everybody knows who Javed Akhtar is.
No, please don't define me. That is not necessary at all. But yes, there are, now I'm not talking in first person, I'm talking the general rule. Life sometimes I feel is like a game of rummy. You may be a good player, but if you don't get good cards, what will you do? But there is something like a skill of playing, that with cards are like circumstances. Now circumstances are not your choice, cards are not your choice. And then how you arrange your circumstances or your cards, that depends on your skill. And how you guess what are the possibilities, that here you will be able to make a sequence, here you will be able to make a draw, because the others are throwing cards which are around this card, so it will come to you. These are the guesses, more intelligent, less intelligent guesses. So yes, there is something like a skill of playing, but at the same time, cards are very important, and so are the circumstances.
Javed Sahab, before we spoke to you, we spoke to Mr. Salim Khan also. Both of you place a very, very, very profound thought and a very, very profound importance on destiny.
I don't believe in destiny at all. At all.
But you said, that circumstances are
Circumstances is not destiny. They are random. Destiny means that something is which is pre-written. No, nothing is pre-written. There is nothing like destiny.
But what are circumstances?
Circumstances, you see, there are 7 billion people on this planet. Every person is making some effort. Every person in the world who is alive is making some effort. Now 7 billion efforts make strange patterns in society. And these patterns are called circumstances. They are not planned, they are random, because everybody wants to go in some direction. It is like entering a big fair. A fair of 7 billion people, and every person wants to move in a slightly different direction than the other person. So obviously you can imagine, and then you enter that crowd. So sometimes you will get favorable moments where you will be suddenly moving forward, and sometimes you will be pushed back, but nobody wants to push you back. Nobody wants to give you way. It's happening because of this random efforts of 7 billion people. That's all.
So let us say it is a set of circumstances. Let us say it is a set of circumstances. How much in that, and this is a very important question that does not only belong to me, but this question being posed to a legend like you, probably the entire world wishes to know. How much would you place the importance on hard work, integrity and merit?
Lot, because cards keep changing. The player remains the same. The skill remains the same. There is only one thing constant in the game, not the cards, not the some windfall. It happens, it may not happen. One thing is constant, how well you can play and how consistent you are. If you are losing, you don't get demoralized. If you are winning, you don't become arrogant. That's a good player. So if you are a good player, sooner or later you will win.
So then, Javed Saab, ये जो जोड़ी बनी, जो आइकॉनिक जोड़ी बनी सलीम जावेद की, वो डेस्टिनी नहीं है, तो ये हार्ड वर्क है आप लोग दोनों की ये आप लोग दोनों की हार्ड वर्क है?
देखिए, डेस्टिनी और हार्ड वर्क जो आप ये ऑपोजिशन मत कीजिए. हार्ड वर्क का मतलब ये नहीं है, anybody who doesn't believe in destiny doesn't mean that he controls everything. I don't believe in destiny, but I don't have any delusion that I control everything. There are 7 billion people around me, and they are making strange patterns. Things are happening which are not in my control, but they are not against me or for me. Things are happening because of other people's ego, their ambition, their efforts, and everybody has a different ambition, everybody has a different effort. Sometimes I get a favorable pattern and sometimes I don't get a
So when was this favorable
But now
pattern?
if you get a favorable pattern, how well you use it, that is for you. That is for your talent, your IQ, your intelligence, your caliber.
So ये जो जोड़ी favorable pattern से बनती है, आप लोग दोनों साथ आते हैं.
Again you have taken a extreme stand. Not only favorable circumstances, but your effort also, your caliber, your talent, both when they meet, when you get the right pattern, a person who is talented, a person who is capable, then the person will do something well.
And a person who works hard.
Works hard. And consistent. Consistency is important.
तो उसके वजह से सलीम जावेद का एक consistently हम लोगों ने success देखा. One movie after the other, everything was working fine and everything works. So your journey and India's journey, where do you see it together? I mean, how was the journey of
When
the two?
in retrospect, one can have 2020 vision, but the fact is that we had no idea that there is some similarity or there is some relationship between the two, and I'm so happy that we did not know that. Because if we knew what society wants and what society is looking for, it means we would be looking at the society from outside and prescribing medicines. No, we were the part of the society. We were breathing the same air. We were feeling the way my next door neighbor was feeling. So we did that without knowing that everybody is feeling like that. That was a much better situation. Instead of sitting on a pedestal and thinking, oh, so these people want these kind of stories. No. We wrote these stories because we wanted these stories. And fortunate enough, the circumstances were such that everybody wanted this story.
Akhtar Saab, everybody wanted this story is fine. But again, as I said, we were talking to Mr. Salim before we spoke to we are speaking to you. We spoke to him. The fact that you were representing a cinema, it was a mainstream cinema, but it was representing common man. For a long time, I have thought about it. I don't know whether people have commented about it or not. After a certain point, particularly closer to 2000s, it somehow seems that the common man, aam aadmi, उसे margins पे push कर दिया गया. He has been pushed on the margins in the cinema, in Bollywood. And do you think that, from there on, I will not call it decline. Decline is a very strong term. But the challenges for Bollywood arose because it got disassociated from the common man and everything became slick. Everything became
Who are
fantasy.
these people who work in film industry? They are Martians, or they have come from Moon or Jupiter. They come from the society. They are the part of the society. The film industry is not a separate identity. It is also a part of society. So whatever happens in society and whatever is happening in the society, you can see the symptoms, you can see the remnants, you can see the indications here. In 80s, what happened that almost 15 crore people in India came into middle income bracket. These people changed everything. They changed cinema, they changed politics, they changed aesthetics, everything. They were the first generation middle class. Before that, in 50s and 60s or 40s, the middle class was second generation or third generation educated. Because how could you be in a middle class? Middle class was the extended family of the landed gentry. Bhai, आप middle class में if you want to be, you had to be a doctor or an engineer or a professor or a lawyer or a civil servant or whatever. That is how you were in middle class.
a professional.
Yes, but with industrialization, which took unparalleled, unprecedented level, a new middle class emerges because of the ancillaries of the big industry. These people, for the first time, entered middle class. They were not necessarily educated. Most of them perhaps were only technicians. but they became rich, the agents and so on and so forth. It's a long chain of people because of the big industry who are around it, not the industrialists,
Ancillary.
but the people ancillary.
Ancillary.
They came, 15 crore people. They didn't want their aesthetic change. It reflected in cinema. They wanted to have a party. So the hero stopped working. He ceased to be from a working class. This hero was a rich man because that was their fantasy. This hero used to live in a huge house, and when he would step out, he would be in Switzerland, not even on an Indian street. So it is the pressure of the society which changes things. Economy, it is the socio-economic situation of a society that decides what kind of film will be made. But then the next generation went to better schools. They are growing up, and you can see that from 90s onwards, at least a skin-deep sophistication is coming back. And it will take a little more time to have Guru Datts and Bimal Roys, but it will happen, it is inevitable, because the younger generation and next generation is thinking people. They are more sensitive. They are not impressed by affluence because they take it for granted. You see, for me, a poor young man who grew up and bought a flat, so I wanted to have a wall-to-wall carpet, and I did have. Today I won't have it, I've outgrown that, but these things were important to me. An unusual pink-looking phone, that was a great pleasure for me. So these are the things we were enjoying. Our children, my children, won't even notice that, because when they were born, everything was around them. Now they are looking for something else. You see, a very interesting phenomenon has taken place in films. Films about smaller towns, Badai Ho Badai, all kinds of these films. Ram Prasad ki Tervi
Ram Prasad Dulhan.
हाँ नहीं वो दूसरा है
वो दूसरा है, अच्छा।
हाँ जी जी
I am the
हाँ,
last
ठीक
person
है,
actually.
जी
ये जो pictures थे, these are about small towns, people from small towns. And this curiosity of the younger generation that has been brought up in metros, gone to English-speaking schools and then English medium school, great universities, most of them have studied outside India, but they are interested. They are interested in their roots. कि कहाँ से आए हम, ये इससे पहले की जनरेशन में क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं थी, बिकॉज दे न्यू इट, दे वांट टू फॉरगेट इट. हियर थिंग्स हैव चेंज. तो ये जो आप फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में अच्छा बुरा देखते हैं, इट डजंट हैपन इन अ वॉइड, इट हैज समथिंग टू डू विद सोसाइटी. नाउ सो मेनी पीपल से सब वो गाने जो पहले होते थे 50-60 में, अब वो नहीं होते. गानों को क्या हो गया? आपको क्या हो गया पहले ये बताइए. आपने आखिरी बार पोइट्री की कोई किताब कब पढ़ी थी? हैव यू टेकन योर चिल्ड्रन टू एनी क्लासिकल कॉन्सर्ट? हैव योर चिल्ड्रन सीन यू एंड योर friend, father's friend discussing a novel? No, because that is not the priority. That was not the priority in the last 40 years. Language is shrinking in the society and you want great songs. Come on.
लेकिन हाउ डू यू स्टे सो करंट? मतलब आप अभी तक लिख रहे हैं.
अभी मैंने 3 स्क्रिप्ट लिखी हैं.
जी.
जहाँ
नहीं, लेकिन उसमें मारिया का सवाल सर ये है कि आप इतना
हाउ आई डू इट.
हाँ, कंकरेंट कैसे रहते हैं समाज के साथ जुड़े हुए?
इट इज वेरी सिंपल. यू हैव टू रिस्पेक्ट द यंगर जनरेशन. डोंट बी condescending, don't be patronizing. Accept the reality. There is so much that they know we don't know, and there is so much which we know they don't know. So there can be a fair give and take. As long as you feel that, you will remain, because that khazana you have anyway, of language, of poetry, of experience. But at the same time, the world belongs to them, not to you anymore. So you listen to them and understand what are their priorities and what is their choice, why. Try to understand and imbibe it.
बट जावेद साहब, इसी में हम ऐड करेंगे कि आप बहुत ओपिनियनेटेड हैं, एंड राइटली सो, बिकॉज यू आर अ थिंकर. Yes,
yeah, I mean,
because you put out your tweets.
He has strong opinions.
Yeah,
Let's put it like
yeah.
this.
You put out tweets which generate views. आपके क्या घर में कोई सेंसरशिप होता है? आपके बच्चे बोलते हैं कि क्योंकि जनरेशन की बात आप जैसा कर रहे हैं,
थोड़ा सा क्या होता है,
हाँ.
बच्चों को कभी कभी ऐसी चिंता होती है that it can be dangerous for you, people can react with certain undesirable hostility and so on. कभी कभी, not always, but it's okay, it doesn't matter.
Javed Saab, I mean, it will be injustice to your listeners and viewers if I don't take you back to the golden era of Indian cinema. When you were giving blockbuster after blockbuster, when stars like Amitabh Bachchan were, being created and magnum opus kind of movies were being made.
You don't create Amitabh Bachchan, you discover him.
Were being discovered, let me mend my words. What do you see the difference in that era and this era in terms of intensity of work? Like, I'm quite sure that today's filmmakers, like your children also, would be putting in equal amount of hard work, would be probably more, in so many ways, more diverse in their approach to cinema, etc. But what's the critical difference that you have seen in the Bollywood of 80s and now? I'm not talking of 90s so much, because it's, in so many people's ideas, it's sort of a wasted generation era of Bollywood.
Sir, fortunately or unfortunately, life doesn't offer you good and bad. It offers you packages. And in one package, there are 5 big goods. Underneath that, there are 9 small bads. Underneath that, there are 11 very good, very small goods. Underneath that, there are medium-sized 4 bads. In the other package, there are 7 very big goods. Underneath that, there are 8 big bads. Underneath that, there are medium-sized 12 goods. Then underneath that, there are 7 bads, medium-sized. Now, you don't know which is the better package. You can't decide it, but you have to take one. So every era, there was never golden era, any golden. Every golden era has always belonged to the past. Never it has happened that people say, this is the golden era. No.
But I'm sure in 80s people would be saying to you that it is the golden era.
It is always so. Always so.
But they would have told you in 80s that it is the golden era, Mr. Akhtar.
No, nobody said.
Nobody said.
Nobody, never in the world, golden era was the present era. It was always in the past, because then you forget certain things, you edit it according to you. Great, we were great, and so, and everything was wonderful. So, not only in film industry, everywhere.
You romanticize the past.
That is how history is made. But there was no era which was golden era. Every era had good, bad, medium, mediocre, exceptional, all together. But the reference has come that it has become more streamlined. In my time, perhaps when I came to film industry, it was going through a feudal era. Now it is an industrial time.
Now it is more egalitarian.
More corporatized. Now, feudal times have their vices and virtues, so has
corporate
time. Money was used to trickle. Now it is flowing. Now it is good, wonderful, it's comfortable, but at the same time, again, it has a negative side also. Because money used to trickle, a producer used to make a film in around 2 years. So the saleable actor could do 7, 8, 9 pictures at a time, because the producer didn't have enough money, so he would shoot for 5 days in a month. So rest of the 25 days he had for others. So he would go 5 days to this and 7 days to do, or 3 days, and he would do many films. Now when the money has come, the producer says, you take your money. There is no problem of money. So because he is getting all the money, why should he go to 20 places? So he does one film at one time. It means if he is working around the clock, he will be able to do 3 or 4 films in a year. That time, 12 producers were producing the film. Today they have 4.
The choices have changed.
So again, now this is not a very happy situation. Perhaps you should have 20 more saleable stars, but it's not in your hands. You can't just create celebrity stars like that. People have to love them. People have to like them. The stars are today are popular people. People, they have a huge fan following. So it can't be created overnight. It happens. So there are very few stars who are viable in market. And that is why there are very few producers who are making a film.
Then in that case, Javed Saab,
Yeah.
if we were to compare the two eras or two times in
Yeah.
Indian cinema, are you nostalgic about those times?
Not at all. Not at all. I told you that every era has something good and something bad.
Yes.
Today people are much more professional than what they were before.
So if we were to sum up this conversation, because we are starting to wrap up, writers are no longer top billers. They don't get
nobody is a top biller.
top billing
Listen,
anymore.
Top billing is not.
You were an outlier in that generation.
No. Whether writer or director or even actor, you think every actor who works in that film is a top biller? No. You say star. Who is a star? An actor who is loved by many people is called a star. You find some love from the people, they will give your name. It is a fair world in a way. Please understand it. ये जो differences है ना, चाहे पेमेंट के हों चाहे क्रेडिट के हों, ये बिल्कुल फेयर है एक तरह से. You bring audience in the hall, we'll give you name. If you are a puller, if you can pull the audience in, you are an important person. If you can't pull the audience in, then you are not important. As simple as that.
But Indian cinema never saw Javed
Yes,
Salim.
It was so because Salim-Javed, one after another, gave films. And yes, we were smart enough to tell people that this film is written by us. Don't forget it. That message was conveyed
वो
constantly.
एक सलीम साहब ने किस्सा सुनाया था, आपने बोला भी उससे पहले कि आपने एक पेंटर को भेजा जिन्होंने
जी. तो वो जो भी तरीके हों, फिर बाद में तो लोग देने भी लगे नाम. तो we were high profile people. Besides successful writers, we were high profile. And we had a following. There was a time when the producer will give our name on the banner and in a bolder letter than the stars. So, because people wanted to see Salim-Javed film, you come in that position where people would like to see a film, your name will be there.
सर ये सलीम साहब ने कहा कि कहानी पे फिल्म चलती है. अभी कह रहे थे कि कहानी पे फिल्म चलती है और जो भी बड़ा सेलेबल स्टार हो पहले 3-4 दिन ऑडियंस लेके आ सकता है, बट उसके बाद कहानी पे चलती है. तो आपको क्या लगता है कि कुछ एक पीरियड ऐसा आया, दौर आया, अब जैसा आपने कहा कुछ चेंज भी हो रहा है, जहां कहानी कमजोर हो गई शायद? देयर आर नो गुड स्टोरीज टू बी टोल्ड. उनका एक कहना था कि लोग चूंकि पढ़ नहीं रहे हैं इसलिए अच्छा लिख नहीं रहे हैं. व्हाट इज योर टेक?
ये भी एक वजह है, यही एक वजह नहीं है. हाउ डू यू मेक स्ट्रॉन्ग स्टोरीज? You make strong stories if you have strong characters. What is the definition of a strong character? Who is a hero? I'm not talking of film. Anyway, who is a hero? A hero is the personification of the contemporary morality and contemporary aspirations. If you put them together, that is the hero. So heroes keep on changing, the hero image keeps on changing. There was a time when Devdas was a huge craze in this country. A man who drinks himself to death. Today Devdas cannot be a hero. Times have changed. You had an image of a rebel star. What did he rebel about or against whom? The rebel star had the guts, unlike Devdas, to say, I want to marry this girl, not this one. That's all. That is all rebel star did besides singing.
That's all the rebellion was.
But that was the rebel star. Today that rebel star will be not good enough for us. Things, morality changes and aspirations. We are in a very transitional period. We are not sure of a morality. What is the ideal man? What is the right morality? What should be our aspiration? Our aspiration, is it fair or it is too selfish? Our morality is too stupid and self-destructive or right? Where do we draw line that up to here we are for others And after that, we are for ourselves. Where do we draw this line? We don't know. There was a time when that you had that socialistic pattern of society, dream and so on. Then ठीक है, पैगाम जैसी पिक्चर आप बना सकते थे. गरीब आदमी अच्छे होते थे, अमीर आदमी बुरे होते थे. Life was very simple. आज हम नहीं मानते कि अमीर आदमी बुरे थे, इसलिए हम अमीर होना चाहते हैं. तो हमारी मोरालिटी ही क्लियर नहीं है, हमारी एस्पिरेशन ही क्लियर नहीं है. So in such situations, how can you have a hero image? You don't have a hero image. Look at these girls, Madhuri and Sri Devi. They were not less talented than Meena Kumari and Nargis and Madhubala. Sorry. They were as talented as these great actresses. But did they get a good role in their whole career? Larger than life. Meena Kumari had Sahab Bibi aur Ghulam, Pakita. Nargis had Mother India, Nutan had Bandhani, Sujata. कौन सा महत्वपूर्ण रोल आपने श्री देवी को या माधुरी को दिया? इसलिए नहीं कि आपकी उनसे कोई दुश्मनी थी. You did not have great roles. And great roles इसलिए नहीं कि जब मीना कुमारी थी तो मैं चुप रहूंगी was the virtue. And it was a super hit film which she did. Now मैं चुप रहूंगी is not a virtue. Then what is the virtue? People are not clear. When in 70s a young man was angry and he stood up against the establishment, that was a virtue. Is it a virtue today to go to the jail? You don't know. You will find it that kind of attitude suicidal. So what is right? What is ideal? Society is not clear about it. That's why you don't have great rules.
And is that the reasons why we are not seeing great scripts?
You are not?
Seeing great scripts or great
That's
stories.
Many great scripts. Right?
Very right. That's the reason. Only great characters make great scripts.
And great scripts make great movies.
Yes. So, Javed Saab, what next in this journey of Javed Akhtar and journey of India?
Both of us, India and me, have basic common sense. We will never self-destroy ourselves. That's I promise you. India has in its DNA sensibility of 5,000 years. It will never destroy itself. Things go up, down, it happens, there are ups and downs. But ultimately, no one, my country or me, will not walk off the cliff.
With the prophetic words, thank you, Javed Akhtar. Thank you for joining NDTV. And thank you from our millions of viewers for enlightening us.
Thank you.
With your lives and times. Thank you so much, Javed Saab.